So this is my, I think, 11th attempt. Technologically, we are having some issues. Nonetheless, I am not giving up. The kelp forest, I seal, put a bomb. The kelp forest is, as I say, a critical ecosystem for a lot of animals. They like cold waters, temperate zones also, and they hug the coastlines. They're not found often in tropical waters, but along the shores of the colder waters, there's a lot of kelp and it supports a huge, huge ecosystem. So when it takes a hit, as it has in several areas, the whole ecosystem gets thrown out of whack. One of the things that caused a lot of problems back then is that there's a cute little animal called the sea otter, and there used to be a whole bunch of them. And then there in the 18th and 19th centuries, they were hunted almost to extinction because they have some of the densest fur of all mammals. And so people thought, oh, good, warm hats. And so little by little, the sea otters started to disappear. Well, the problem with that was that one of the things that the sea otters love to eat is sea urchins. And one of the things that sea urchins love to eat are the toe holds, or the holdfasts, as they're called, that the kelp uses to ground itself on the sea floor or on the rocks. And they munch through all this stuff. And the sea kelp just floats up to the surface because they have these gas-filled bubbles. You can see them in this image, and you can see them in my drawing also. Some of the bull kelp that grows along the BC coast in Northern California, along Oregon coast too, can grow up 50 meters, 160 feet until it reaches the surface and hanging on for dear life at the bottom, right? And gets up to the surface and it floats on the surface, these bubbles, and then the fronds drape out from that and float along the surface. And the sea otters love to live in there, you know. So there's all this sort of symbiosis between the sea otters and the kelp and the urchins. So when the urchins, when the sea otters finally started to recover after the hunting stopped, balance is slowly being restored in certain areas. But it doesn't take much to destroy the balance, whether it's kelp forests or tropical forests or. And pollution and humans and overfishing, and there's a lot of things that cause a lot of damage that we have done. And I'm not saying that nature hasn't done its own damages also, but it tends to sort of restore itself. But humans have really thrown things out of whack. So anyways, that's the kelp forests. And I'm going to talk about my drawings now. And we'll see if this one records so I can post it on my channel.